Roses are red and commies are too. I visit Bonzo each day at the zoo. And Bonzo tells me that when he's not watching my old movies, he's tuned in to Comedy Tonight.
It's Comedy Tonight, America's most politically incorrect TV comedy club. Tonight's most political guests include Jim Morris, Durst, and Crimmins. Now here's your host, the president of Comedy Tonight, Bill Boggs.
Thank you. If I'm the president, Karen Haber, you're the vice president of Comedy Tonight.
Thank
welcome,
you very
everybody.
much.
Oh, you're welcome very much. Tonight, we have a convention of political comedians. And to get things rolling from San Francisco, this is San Francisco's favorite son, Will Durst. Will.
Hi, good evening, how are you? So, the Sixth Fleet is steaming towards the Gulf of Sidra. Gaddafi's line of death. Here's my line of death. Here's my line of death. Gaddafi, what a cheese brain. Claims there are no terrorist camps in Libya. Right, and Formica is edible. This guy spells his name with a Q. It's not followed by a U. He plays by rules we don't even understand. Of course, Reagan, the first living brain donor. He can't even conceive of suicide terrorists. Well, how do they get paid? Do they have a dental plan? He calls Gaddafi a flake. Oh, that's gonna settle the Mideast thing, right? Let's see, Gaddafi's a flake. I guess Charlie Manson was cranky. Manson shows up at his parole hearing with a swastika on his forehead. What was going through his tiny little mind? Oh, this'll work. His cellmate was probably egging him on. Yeah, Chuck, try the swastika. They'll let you out then. We're gonna give Contra aid, $100 million. Reagan's defense is Ortega went to Moscow. But of course Ortega's going to Moscow. He's a socialist. We give money to the guys who are trying to kill him. Where's he supposed to go for aid? Wheel of Fortune? Cozy up the Vanna White and buy a vol out of the defense fund? Big pesos, big pesos. For $875, Pat, I'll take the Uzi 9mm handgun. The other $25 in a gift certificate. Gracias. They're trying to denigrate the memory of JFK now by linking him to an affair with Marilyn Monroe. Boy, it really lowers him in my esteem. This guy made love to Marilyn Monroe. What a jerk. What kind of guy can do that? All the Secret Service guys were going, forget the bad back, Jack. Go for it, man. We'll cover for you. And they did. Tip O'Neill looks more and more like W.C. Fields every day. I was proud of Gary Hart. He actually took a stand. He came out against cancer. Way to go, Gary. Courageous move. Ron doesn't want to get rid of food stamps. He wants to make them harder to get. What's he gonna do? Staple them to ears of Doberman pinchers? Hire real tall guys to hold them just out of people's reach. Here you go. Come on, one more time. I'm sorry. He wants routine polygraph examinations for all government personnel, but then Schultz gets all pissed off. Said he'd quit the State Department before he'd submit to telling the truth. Or something like that. I forget what it was. That's why we got pissed at the PLO, because they lied to us about the Achille Laura thing, but it's such a wimpy lie. Nobody died. All right, one guy died. But he died of a heart attack. Right, you shoot me in the head twice, I'll have a heart attack too. And now the Klinghoffer estate is suing the PLO for $1.5 billion. How'd you like to be the guy having to serve that subpoena? Hi, is Yasser home? You know Mr. Arafat? Guy looks like Ringo Starr with a dish on his head. I'll just wait out in the shade by this car bomb. Played a game of South African chess. It's weird. The whole object is take out the black bishop. It's easy though. Only the white pieces get the move. Well, now let me get this straight. Tyrant-wise, Duvalier's holed up in a chalet in the south of France. Marcos is hiding out in Hawaii. Boy, we really know how to punish those tyrannical despots, huh? I bet they're chastised now. Pinochet's probably having nightmares about Tahiti. And Imelda's 2,700 pairs of shoes. What amazes me about that is every woman I meet goes, I can see that. She probably had matching pocketbooks for each. Marcos, Gorbachev and Reagan are in an airplane. Plane's going down, there's one chute. Reagan says, I should have the parachute. Gorbachev says, get out of here, prune face, I'm getting the chute. Marcos goes, hey guys, let's take a vote. He wins 12 to 6 to 4. You've been great, I've been Durst.
I'm a little annoyed now, Bill.
Why, Mr. President?
Well, I watch your show all the time, and
thank you.
You know, I have to take exception to that young fellow, what was his name, Will Durst.
Yes.
Well, he said some nasty things about me. I'd like to defend myself.
Well, we'll give the president equal time. There's our Comedy Tonight camera right there.
Wonderful. That's just dandy. Now, I'd like to lay some things to... Let me just say this. Now, hold on. I'm perfectly well aware of what I'm saying. It's what I mean. I have no idea. No. Now, Mr. Durst said that I didn't know what to do about the Middle East. Well, I do. We have a lot of factories there in Ohio. Oh, no. No. Now, hold on. I'm talking about all the terrorism there. We have... Well, everybody's insane, except, of course, for the King of Jordan. He's not insane. He's sane. Hussein, I know that. And because I read my half-page memos, I know what goes on in this world. But that mad dog, that Looney Tune, that flake Gaddafi, what is he, a mad dog Muslim, or is he a Sunni, or a Shiite? Is that what he is? Well, he's really bucking for it now, that no-good bucking Shiite. There you go again. Let me put it to you simply, because that's the way things get explained to me. You see, the Carter administration cut back on intelligence gathering capabilities in that region. If we knew where those terrorists were, we'd be able to go in there, but the Carter intelligence capabilities, what I'm trying to say is that in 1980, when I came into office with a severe lack of intelligence. Well, of course, one must be a student of world history to understand the affairs that are happening now. As a matter of fact, after the Second World War, we helped get some of our European allies back on their own 2 feet with the Marshall Plan. And we also helped one of our Pacific allies with the Marcos Plan. It's too bad to get her back on her own 2 feet. It's too bad it took 3,000 pairs of shoes to get her back. But no, well, we did help Mr. Duvalier, Baby Doc. I felt I owed it to him. I offered him the spare room at the White House. I was a fond admirer of his uncle, Maurice. Of course, we've also sent Phil Habib down to Central America. He's our special envoy to those dirty Nicaraguans. Nicaraguans, I know what I'm saying. As a matter of fact, we must continue to help the peoples of South Africa, and if we let the blacks have rule there like they did in Rhodesia, I don't think that'll be solving anything, because the Afros took over Rhodesia. And now they're all aphrodisiacs, and they never get anything done. They're too busy enjoying themselves. But in passing, I would like to say that after I'm completing my arms control negotiations with the Soviets, I think all the civilized peoples of the world will rest in peace. Now I'm ready to take any questions at all. Oh.
Bill, can I talk to the president?
Absolutely. Mr. President, it's Karen Haber, our announcer.
Wonderful. We have a question right here, yes.
Mr. President, I feel that boys have really messed up the world, and I just think that girls should have a chance to mess up the world, too. You guys who are running the world are the same people who leave your underwear on the floor. So, of course, the world's a mess. Now, let's talk. Boy leaders are so immature. Even you, Mr. President, going around to all the other countries saying your nuclear missiles are bigger than everybody else's nuclear missiles. Everybody knows it's not the size of the nuclear missiles that counts. It's how you deploy them.
Well, I will say this. I would like to respond by saying that I'll have you know I can still poise my heat-seeking missile as a threat to any Gulf region. But I can't fire. I always end up with what is known as the trickle-down theory. I'm sorry about that. God bless you.
We'll be back with Barry Crimmins and the real Jim Morris after this. You might describe our next comedian as a guy who likes to cross the line of death when no one is looking and then pull back fast before anybody sees him. A regular at Stitches in Boston, this is Barry Crimmins.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, I'm psyched. Okay. I'm Barry Crimmins. For those of you who don't know me, I'll tell you a couple of things about me. First off, I'm a proponent of gun control. Now, for those of you in the National Rifle Association, proponent means I'm in favor of gun control. They say, if guns are outlawed, only outlaws will have guns. I say, fine, part of their job. If guns are outlawed, a lot of pinheads won't have guns. Could be rather a nice mix. But they always talk about the right to bear arms. We've had the right to bear arms for over 200 years now. Fine, bear arms from over 200 years ago. When was the last time someone in this room got arrested for carrying a concealed musket? Not recently. People that work in 24-hour stores don't get nervous if somebody comes in with a funnel-shaped thing under their coat. Oh my God, I think he's got a musket. But we should be allowed to protect ourselves, but there's better weapons, more patriotic weapons, more freely available. Baseball bats. I say, turn that Magnum, get a Hank Aaron 34. Baseball bats are wonderful weapons, even if you foul the guy off. Doesn't matter. Best thing about baseball bats as opposed to guns is no small child's ever walked into his father's bedroom, reached in the bureau drawer, pulled out a baseball bat, and said, geez, what's this? So thanks for loosening up those gun laws this week, Congress. We appreciate it. I think everybody that voted for that law should be shot. And see if they're in favor of that crap. But anyway, Reagan's the president now. The president, he's got a great sense of humor. He must watch this show. He's a wonderful sense of humor. The bombing starts in 5 minutes. Ha 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 ha. And who enjoys a good laugh better than those crazy, crazy Soviets? Oh, that wacky Regansky. Oh, going to turn us into dust particles again. A lot of sore stomach muscles at the Kremlin the morning after that hilarious gag. No borscht for me. Oh, God. See his trip to Europe last summer? It's like a Bob Uecker commercial. Ah, these Europeans love me. They're going, get out of here, Reagan! Yeah, he's great in the debates, isn't he? 1980, he had to cheat to beat Jimmy Carter in a debate. Cheating to beat Jimmy Carter in a debate is like throwing Ray Charles a breaking ball. On an 0-2 pitch, it's not fair. Oh, God. He can't think on his feet, though. Great. You know, it was great. Reagan's babysitters, I love them. The people that are supposed to keep him away from the press and the general public at all times. Because once in a while he escapes, they go in the Oval Office. The leash is broken. My God, Reagan's gone. We don't know where he is. Wait, he's over there. There's cameras. There's microphones. Donaldson's there. Donaldson's there. Oh, my God, Reagan. I think the PLO's a good group of fellas. No! Well, we waited for an election. What did we get in '84? Reagan versus Mondale. Zippity-doo-dah. Mondale was a forceful speaker, huh? I'd sort of like to be president. I figured he was the lesser of two evils, so I worked for him. I voted for him. I went home election night. I turned on the returns. They had that big map up there. Boy, was that depressing. We never even found out what color they were going to use for Mondale on the map. God. Well, you know what annoys me? Like, that movie Rambo, that whole Rambo trip makes me mad, you know? That's as if, that movie Rambo is as if the Germans made a movie in 1955. Hitler's back, and he's mad this time. So a little revisionist comment at the end, and thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. Go see you.
Good. Very good. Now look, you saw Jim Morris earlier as President Reagan, our great communicator. He's back now playing the part of himself, Jim Morris.
Oh, thanks, Scott. Thank you. I think it's great. We're doing a program here, political humor. It's very important to me because I've been doing political humor since I was a little kid. Authority figures, when you ridicule them and make fun of them, it's funny, but it's making a point at the same time. My first impression was my Uncle Morty, whom I was supposed to respect. I'll never forget what he said to me just before he died. He looked up at me and he said to me, he said, "Will you stop mimicking me already? You're gonna give me a heart attack." Those were his last words. My Aunt Estelle comes running in. "Come on, Morty, come on already. We want to catch the early bird. Come on, I'm hungry." "Oh, you're lying on the floor there. Oh, you're all blue already. You better not eat." But there's a lot of things happening today, of course. We see on the news, but we see so much fluff, too. All the network correspondents like Dan Rather. "Good evening. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. I read the news today. Oh, boy." You know the rest of the song. "Good evening. I'm Tom Brokaw. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven." "Good evening. I am Ted Koppel, and this is constipation." There's a lot happening in the world today. Kurt Waldheim, former Secretary General of the UN, is running for president of Austria. And they think he's a Nazi. Why? I mean, just because his campaign is being bankrolled by Lyndon LaRouche? I don't understand that. I like that one. Clint Eastwood, elected mayor of Carmel, California. This is weird. I mean, what does it take to be in politics these days? Having had worked with an ape as a sidekick? I mean, you've got Ronald Reagan, you've got Clint Eastwood. Who's next? Merlin Perkins for mayor of Omaha. I don't know. But, I mean, and Lee Iacocca was fired as head of the Statue of Liberty Commission, which is sad, and they're thinking of bringing him back because so many Americans objected to his being fired. But if they bring Lee Iacocca back, would he be new Iacocca or classic Iacocca? I don't know. But, you know, no, really, no sympathy applause on that one. I wonder who the Democrats are going to offer in a couple of years. Gary Hart with his new ideas. Remember him? We need new ideas. A new generation of leadership and a break from the past and the old ideas and the old generation of leadership into the new generation of leadership and new ideas. Okay, Gary, we'll call you. I don't know what the hell is this. Better than Walter Mondale, who ran, I guess, I hope you consider, remember Walter Mondale? My record stands on its own, no new hairspray, what you see is what you get. My record stands on its own, no, I'm not changing a thing, I'm not even changing my socks, they stand on their own too. You gotta give him credit for one thing, he did select the first woman running mate, but I personally don't think that a woman would make a good vice president. I mean, I think she'd probably just sit around all day watching soap operas and TV, because after all, that's what they do. Oh, come on. I'm not talking about women, I'm talking about vice presidents. That's what they do. Sit around all day watching soap operas and TV. I mean, ask George Bush what he's doing when he's not trying to get on Miami Vice. Well, you know, I support the president, but I really wanted to be on Falcon Crest on the other station, but President Reagan told me, he said, "No, I don't want you working with my ex-wife. The only ex I want you to be concerned with is the MX." And, you know, the president, my wife Barbara and I, we support him. We stand right behind him. He's the best president we've got. I'm the only one, George. Go to your room. Go to your room, George, and don't you come out until I have passed away. Well, how will I know when that is, Mr. President? When you hear a dull thud. Now get out of here, please. Thanks a lot. You've been wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Will Durst, Barry Crimmins, Jim Morris, and of course, Karen Haber. This is our first theme show, our first show when we've ever done political humor. And you guys actually, it turns out, have worked together for a long time, right?
Yeah, this was fun. It worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
Crimmins and I worked together in Boston, and Jim and I started together in San Francisco, and then he moved to Boston and worked with Crimmins.
No, you're wrong. He started in Boston, then he went to San Francisco.
No, he was...
Why don't we get Henry Kissinger to moderate between them?
I started out in Boston, did comedy there for 2 years, and then moved out to San Francisco, where I met this guy.
Then you moved back to Boston.
And then I moved back to Boston.
You guys travel
nice
a lot,
segue
don't you?
there. I'm doing Rapmaster Ronnie in Boston right now. It's a Gary Trudeau, Liz Swados musical satire. And
Well, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I just get out of the plane and wave. Wave.
Mr. President, any comment on that hairstyle next to you?
I love that hair.
Well, all I have to say is stay away from my son.